Hey, welcome to the Fort Tuthill Military Museum. I'm James Denton, retired Command Sergeant Major, President and General Manager of the museum. We're currently in Building 2, which covers 1940 to present day. I want to point out a couple of highlights of our museum. We're known as the best kept secret in Flagstaff, and hopefully after this we won't be known as that, okay? So we'll start off here with some interesting facts about the 158th Infantry Regiment, later known as the Bushmasters. So 1940 they were mobilized. They left here in Arizona September of 1940. They didn't get back to Arizona until January of 1946. So they were gone for about 5.5 years. The first unit deployed overseas. December 8th, the day after Pearl Harbor, is when they were pulled out of the 45th Division and sent to Panama, which I'll show you here in a second. But one of the cool things about this unit is that they were very diverse for the time. 40% Native American and Mexican American. F Company, probably the best company in the regiment, as they were known, all Native Americans, okay, who were later broken up and developed, and they became scouts and code talkers. So we'll kind of go over here. They trained in Louisiana and Camp Barkley, Texas. Then, of course, December 8th or December 7th happened, and then they were pulled out of the regiment, and they were immediately sent to Panama, where they began doing jungle training and training new jungle equipment. Some of those things that most military people would know about is the famous jungle boot. So they trained and they experimented with 3 different versions. This is one version. This is the version that was chosen by the Army, but the other 2 versions that they experimented on did not come out until Vietnam. So pretty cool history with the Bushmasters. Why are they called the Bushmasters? Well, they did not have a division patch. So they designed their own, which was the machete, coiled with the Bushmaster snake coiled around it, which became a very famous patch in World War II because they would encounter the Bushmaster snake in the jungles of Panama. So their first action was on our way, 2nd Battalion in New Guinea. And from there, they moved on into New Britain. They did Numfor Island, all the Southwest Pacific up to Luzon, which we'll talk about here in a second. So if you come around here, we get into New Guinea and talking about, there's a picture here of General MacArthur and Prue Herndon, who was the commander of the 158th Infantry. And then this is the gentleman, Zieg, who actually created the patch. And he marked all the different locations that he was in the Southwest Pacific in which he saw action after they were deployed. A couple of machine guns here that were donated to General Tuthill after they got back from World War II. The soldiers were highly inspired by General Tuthill, and for that they presented him with actually 4 different machine guns, 2 of which we have on display here. And just some of the different artifacts that we have, obviously things that were collected, artifacts that were collected by the Bushmasters while they were overseas. This camera is the famous speedgraph camera that most of these photographs were taken with. And Jim Warbass, who's the founder of the museum and the grandson of General Tuthill, became very close with Combat Photo 10, who was attached to our regiment on Luzon. So a lot of these photographs came from his personal collection. And then one of our new exhibits this year is the Code Talker exhibit. This was done by one of our NAU interns. His name is Elijah Scher. He spent the last semester gathering all this information, talking about all the different code talkers, not just the Navajo code talkers, but the code talkers of the 158th Infantry and many others. Okay, very famous group here called the Alamo Scouts. They are the forerunners to the Green Berets. They were recognized, and they are recognized, on the Special Operations Command Walk of Fame. There were only 206 operational scouts. 26 of them were Bushmasters. And the very first mission done by the Alamo Scouts was Lieutenant John McGowan. He was a Bushmaster. And his team reconnoitered Los Negros, and his team received the Silver Star for that action. And then we come around over here, we have a bunker, which is supposed to represent, obviously, a bunker on Luzon. And then we break into our European theme. Because we have a tie with the 45th, that was our parent division until December 7th, we talk about the liberation of Dachau concentration camp, which the 45th Infantry Division did. Our sister regiment, actually the 157th Infantry, is the one who liberated Dachau, and they're from Colorado. Get over here, something really cool, the famous Tiger tank. People don't realize this is a Tiger tank round, the most devastating tank on the European battlefield. That was the size of the round right there, which is pretty cool. And then we come over here with, we talk about some of the different versions of the famous Bushmaster patch. Some original patches here from, the original patch was black. They could not get black felt when they got to Australia, so they used blue felt. This was the second version of the Bushmaster patch. And we get over here, we go into, again, our museum covers, this side of the museum covers 1940 to present day. So we also have a big tie with Vietnam. We had several Bushmasters who volunteered to go to Vietnam, many of them receiving the Silver Star. We come back here, we get into our another new exhibit, which is our Women in Combat exhibit. Okay, women are on the front lines today just as much as the men are. And we highlight one National Guard soldier, which is Mary Herrera. She was wounded in Baghdad. And, of course, the very famous Leanne Hester, the first woman to win the Silver Star for combat and for valor in Baghdad. And then we'll come over here. We'll talk about their battalion's first deployment to Afghanistan in 2007, 2008. This was the largest deployment since World War II. They've done 2 other battalion deployments since then, 2018 to 19, and then 23 to 24. So, and again, unit still around today, there's only 1 battalion left as opposed to an entire regiment. So with that, just a little bit of an inside look at our museum, and we hope you come see us.